Hey yo, what up? It's Imperative. We're back for episode number 3 of Beat Breakdown. Today we got Under the Scope with Rick Hyde, Benny the Butcher, Black Soprano Family, Griselda.
Sammy Watkins, you had the ball and then you dropped it. I play for profit. This rap shit is in the pocket.
Yeah, this is definitely my biggest track to date. This is the first single off Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes for obvious reasons. Definitely jumped on that. Capitalized on that. You idiot. How this kind of came about, I made the beat, found the sample. Once I laid it out, I kind of knew what I had and who I wanted to hear on it. I showed it to a couple friends. I'm like, yo, who do you hear on this? And they're like, Benny the Butcher, man.
As soon as they let me eat, know the streets was my expertise. I kept discreet contacts with my connects, so they let me eat.
So it just worked out because I had already worked with Rick Hyde on Bricks.
Coast to coast, they know me, my signature make the people chant. Could have been a people verse Ricky, now I'm the people chant.
And so him and I had built this relationship and network, and there came the chance to get a feature from Benny the Butcher. So I jumped on that, sent the beat off to them. Under the Scope is what they sent back. 2 back-to-back verses, 16s, grimy, gutter. Yeah, I just took my time and perfected this one. Everything down to the last detail. Worked on the art, make sure the mix and master was perfect. Like Jamie Kuse out at Nova, he'll tell you, like, I went back on this track like 4 or 5 times, just making sure, you know, small little things, a little pop here, a little crackle there. The artwork, which you can see on the hoodie here, which is done by the incredible Sepp, who did art for Fly God, among many other covers, which I'm sure you recognize. And that's exactly why I got Sepp to do this art. Is I really wanted people to have that brand recognition, you know, recognize the art from Sepp and really give it a listen and be like, yeah, this song fits the brand. Griselda's got that sound. This is perfect. Released this track under One in the Chamber Records, which was kind of an idea of how am I going to release this and get people to listen to it. So I wanted to do a limited edition 7-inch vinyl. You have the 7-inch cover here. And then we got, this is a splatter, which didn't really turn out right. This was supposed to be like a clear yellow and some splatter, but it just came out like orange and green and not red and blue to match the cover. And then we got the yellows here, so that matches. And then we got standard black. But yeah, all of these limited edition, 300 only, sold out. And then some with Obi and some without Obi. And here we are. Let's get into making of this beat, Under the Scope.
Your legacy debatable, my hunger just unmistakable. In my 3-year
Under the Scope, I started this one a little bit different than I normally start most of my tracks. Usually I start with the sample and then I go into the drums and bass after that. For this one I started with the drums first. So I had this drum loop by Giant Queen of Downs, and that sounds like this. You can hear that grimy vinyl crackle and dust on there. So I started with that joint, and then I wanted to find a sample with like a lot of different more elements and layering and textures. So I came across this one. Now, I know in previous video I said I didn't want to sample snitch on myself, but this track, I ran a contest in Sample Spotters, it's a Facebook group run by Omar Lopez, and I did a contest between there and another Facebook group called Previously Best Kept Secret. Found this sample in the Previously Best Kept Secret sample group, which is run by Andre Wolf. So shout out Andre the Wolf. I think it's actually a fake soundtrack. Like, I don't think it's a real soundtrack to a real movie, but it was scored as so. But it comes from the Busting soundtrack. This track is called Tailing Rizzo. This is the sample here, and you'll hear some of the different elements, and I'll show how I chop it up after. Yeah, so you can hear there's a lot of random sounds and textures, but I knew that there was stuff that I could chop. Now, usually when I chop my samples, I would usually follow a drum, but this one didn't really have a kick or a snare at all. So I really just went by certain sounds and when certain sounds start or stopped. So the first note I found was this one. That just repeats itself. Then we go up. To this one here. I wanted to intensify and just build tension as it went. So you put the drums on that and you get... So with that one, what I did was I threw on a bass. So this came from a bass VST I like to use called Bass Engine. They got a lot of like 90s sounding bass sound. So for this like grimy boom bap, it works. But it was just a simple bass note. Let me play with the drums so I can like time it. Basically, just to fill it out, what I did was I added a stomp right on the first kick of the drum loop, just so it made some impact. You'll hear it here. So when you take the beat and then you put in the vocals, this is what you get.
Yeah. It's Ricky. Big BSF shit, you know. Look, head on the swivel. Kyrie Irving, my shots come off the dribble. Far as dog food go, shit, I was killing them off of kibbles. The second notice, this my show. I'm Malcolm in the middle. Had the 30 before Curry. I'm talking carry. Next move is my best move. The money is show. I perform a little better when I'm under the scope. Let's go.
The DA want me gift wrap, but if that happen, it ain't cause bricks back. It's all cause a nigga brought talking slick back. I get that, cause they ain't expect my shit to have its impact. My clientele used to come get packs out of chit chats.
Yeah, so that is Under the Scope with Benny the Butcher and Rick Hyde. Shout out Black Soprano family, shout out Griselda. This track's out now everywhere. The 7-inch vinyl is shipping very soon, sold out, sorry to say. There might be some limited edition releases in the future. And Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes, my album that you can find Under the Scope on, is out now and available on all streaming platforms. So that's it, Under the Scope. So make sure you tap in with episode 4, Beat Breakdown. See you next time. Listen to the kid.
I'm samurai chopping, that's how I handle my problems. I throw shells at your door like they Amazon boxes. This what it mean when you ride. First do your homework, then you slide, then let them fly out the window screaming, this one for the guys. Your legacy debatable, my hunger just unmistakable. In my 3-year run ain't been nothing but motivational. Before a check from a label, I had a neck full of cables. Don't do no deals with these know-it-alls and expect it to save you. Where you expect it to take me? I finessed it, connected the payload, got me landing on it.